For us, cultural engagement is a cornerstone of a good sustainability strategy. We recommend that our customers get everybody involved, top to bottom, bottom to top, in the sustainability journey. Holding stakeholder workshops on a regular basis, making sure that everybody knows the kind of organisation that they work for, what the goal is, what the strategy is to get there, and it's to begin the process of creating that culture of sustainability I mentioned just a moment ago. And that's not something you do once and walk away. Businesses do have churn, people come and go. Organisation, 18% I think is the average churn rate of employees across businesses on an annual basis. So it's an ongoing thing. It's something you have to return to time and time again, making sure that the message is drummed home, not to new starters and also the existing workforce. Ongoing training, it's about embedding the best practice across the company, sharing the knowledge of up-to-date processes and the role that each person plays in the delivery of the carbon goal. And very, very important that we feel that it's important that everybody knows how energy is used within the building that they work within. What are the major sources of emissions in this building? And we have a piece of software specifically here within Consultus. We have training modules attached to it, which basically ensure that everybody who works here can do a virtual walk around of this building and identify all of the major energy use areas of this building. So they can start to think about what they do, turning the lights out before they leave the building. And we ask all of our employees to make a commitment based on that training. Think about what they can do to help Consultus be the sustainable business it needs to be. And finally, we recommend that every business should have sustainability champions. So that's about sharing responsibility with the stakeholders across the business. It gives the employees a voice and allows them to share their ideas. It's important that the culture not only identifies what that sustainability is, the culture, but that everybody can contribute to it without fear of being shot down. If Joe Bloggs on the shop floor has an idea of something that might help the business, he shouldn't be afraid of raising that idea to senior stakeholders within the business. There should be a channel in place that allows him to do that, and his ideas given due consideration in the overall workings of the business. But yeah, this all comes together in a kind of, well, it's become kind of a ubiquitous term these days, but into a pathway. So it brings it all together, wraps everything up into a strategy. So it's all about the setup initially, understanding where the customer is in their journey so far. Where are they as an organisation? Baseline, as I say, if you can't measure it, then your information is of a meagre kind. Lord Kelvin said that, I think, who created the Kelvin temperature scale. Have a trend check, see what your current trend is. Most businesses will find, if they look at their trend in their carbon footprint over 3, 4, 5 years, COVID aside, they're never going to get to net zero. They need to change something. You have to change something. You cannot simply get there by hoping for and wishing for it. Setting the vision and mission, as I say, in the level of ambition. Be bold is the kind of message behind that. We then look at, as I say, taking those measures, the resource analysis, what's available, what are the enablers and the barriers within a specific organisation. The initiative analysis, spend some time looking at what different lighting will save in terms of your carbon footprint. Build the business case. Map those actions out into a coherent plan. If you want to be net zero by 2035, you're not going to rush at everything in a single day. It's never going to happen. You're never going to go to a business and say, I want to spend £10 million tomorrow, please, Mr. Finance, Mr. CFO. The right approach to it is to say, we need to pick this low-hanging fruit first, then we'll stop, we'll check. We'll go through the process again. It's an iterative process. What more do we need to do? What can we do next? So we'll do lighting in 2025, we'll look at our ventilation in 2026, we'll look at our travel during 2026 alongside it. That makes a big difference. We'll have a look at our waste and have a look at what BIFA do for us as compared to other organisations. And it forms a coherent path. a path to 2035, wherever you set your ambition, that says over those years, if I do this in a staged plan that's going to cost this, I can get to net zero, I can meet that ambition. This, Mr. Business Owner, is my plan. This is how I get there. So it all comes together in a strategy board pack. The answer to that initial question is where I start. Where do I start? The answer to that initial question of where do I start is at the beginning. A very wise person once said that in, which musical was it? Either way, start at the very beginning. It's a very good place to start. But the important thing is to know why you're getting there. Make sure you know what you're doing. Make sure that you have the ambition, the vision, you know why you're doing it. Things flounder because there's no coherent strategy behind it. So ultimately it comes down to getting everybody on board, making sure that everything is fully documented, that you have a solid business case that can't be denied. Everyone knows why they're doing it, what it's going to cost, what actions are going to be taken when, and everybody can sign off on it. And that's ultimately how net zero transition occurs. Finish with a quote from Sir David Attenborough. I always use Sir David Attenborough in sustainability presentations because he's the one person in this country everyone trusts. But yeah, many individuals are doing what they can, and that ultimately is very good. But real success can only come if there's a change in our societies and in our economics and in our politics. It all needs to come together. So businesses, you need to play your part. You can do it. You just need the right plan.